Hey everybody, I'm here today with another Let's Make a Card video. I'm going to be featuring a brand new Two Paper Divas stamp set. It's called Hello Spring, and I will leave a link in the description box below if you want to head on over to their shop and check it out. There's a look at the card, so let's go ahead and get started. Now my main focal image is going to be the Hello Spring stamp set, but I'm also going to use the Banners number 3 sentiment set from Two Paper Divas for my sentiment, and I'm just going to stamp Thanks a Bunch down on the bottom there. I've got a piece of Canson watercolor paper. This measures 2 inches by 5.5 inches, and I've already got it put in my MISTI, and I've already got my stamps lined up just to save a little bit of time. Now these are really fine lined images, both of these. And so I'm going to go ahead and prep my cardstock here with my embossing bag, and then I'll stamp down in Versamark ink. Now because my images are both, my sentiment and my flower stamp that I'm using are both fine line, I'm going to take my time in inking this up with Versamark ink. I want to make sure I get nice coverage because I am stamping on watercolor paper. I'm stamping on the textured side. And these are also fine line images, so I'm just going to take my time, and I will also double stamp this too. So that's where my MISTI comes in really handy, because a lot of times when I use watercolor paper I do double stamp. So that's why I use my MISTI so much. So I'll go ahead and ink this up, make sure I get nice, really good coverage, and I'll stamp it down. Make sure you press pretty firmly. And then I will go ahead and open this back up and stamp again in the same Versamark ink. Now again, these are fine line images, so I'm using Ranger Super Fine Detail Clear Embossing Powder. And I'll go ahead and sprinkle that on, and you're not going to be able to see any of the embossing because it's clear on white. You could also use white embossing powder for this if you wanted to, but mine isn't a fine detail, and I was scared mine wouldn't stick to the fine lines. And I'll just go ahead and heat set that with my heat tool, making sure it's nice and melted there. Now I'm going to turn on some music, and I'm just going to do some watercoloring, loose watercoloring with my Distress inks. Enjoy. Once I was finished watercoloring that panel, I set it aside to air dry just because I like the look of that better. And then I took a piece of craft cardstock. It measured 4 inches or 3 3/4 inches by 5.5, and I just trimmed the edge of that off with a scalloped border die. Now mine was from Stampin' Up. It is no longer available. And then I used, it's a coordinating embossing folder that gives it a lace look. To achieve this, you could use any scallop border die and use an embossing folder that you already have. And then I just started to put this card together. I went ahead and attached some pattern paper to the front of an A2 size card base. It's a top folding white card base, and I put that down with double-sided adhesive. Then I layered that craft cardstock on top, and I just lined it up with the left edge, and all my panels will be lined up along the left edge there. And then I took my watercolor panel. I already had a piece of fun foam on it. Just took the adhesive backing off of the other side and just attached that to the left side as well. Now I wanted to add just a little bit more interest to this card, so I attached a few sequins, and I used glossy accents to hold those down, and I also used my quick sticks tool again just to help get the placement of those right. And that finished off the card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have been inspired to get out your supplies too. I'll leave you with just a few pictures of the finished card. For more information and the complete supply list, you can visit my blog, craftingwhilecaffeinated.wordpress.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy crafting!